welcome back to the stream, and welcome to episode 7 of the Rosette podcast. Welcome to episode 7. Seventh week. Jeez, I can't speak at the moment. 7th week in a row that we've done this. It's crazy. It is now International Week, which is kind of shit. Not gonna lie to you, but we're still here. We're still here, streaming it live on Mondays at 9 p.m. And then going up on YouTube at 9 a.m. on Tuesdays. So yeah, welcome to the stream. Hope you are good. Welcome to this episode. If you're watching on YouTube, hope you are good. If you are watching on YouTube and you haven't checked out my Twitch yet, then please do, because that's where I am active most in the content creating side of things. So please check out my Twitch. I'm live almost every day. Not for as long as I want to be, but obviously, hopefully, the more people that find my Twitch, the better that'll get. And then this weekend will be massive because it's the first FUT Champs of FIFA 21, and you lot, if you've been watching me on Twitch, if you've watched any of my FIFA YouTube videos, you do not know how much I rage. And you lot wait until I play FUT Champs. You lot wait. And I feel like this could be the first time I ever get elite, because I think I'm actually quite decent at this FIFA. I feel like I'm actually quite decent, so this could be the first time I ever get elite. I got very close once. I got 22 wins. You need 23. 22 wins out of 30. So I got very close one time, but this time could be the first time I ever get elite. So yeah, I hope you lot can be in the stream this weekend for a lot of those games. Some of them will be off stream, like in the mornings and stuff, but a lot of them will be on stream. So I hope you lot can make it. And yeah, let's just get straight into this episode of the Rosette podcast. So straight off the bat, we're going to look at the international friendlies and what's going on. Just the main ones, really. I'm not going to look at Estonia versus Lithuania or anything there. Let's look at the main ones. So Mexico versus Guatemala, decent little win for Mexico there, not bad. France beating the Ukraine 7-1. Ukraine aren't that bad, so for them to beat them 7-1 is pretty crazy. And Kamavinga, I think he's the youngest French goal scorer the youngest person to score for France since like the early 1900s, which is mental. And his goal was decent as well. Mbappe getting a goal, Giroud becoming the second top goal scorer in the French national team history, which is crazy. A tight little game there between Croatia and Switzerland. A very obvious win there for Slovenia. Portugal, Spain, drawing 0-0. Poland, Grzycki getting a hat-trick in 38 minutes. That's pretty good from him. Mexico playing another game only a day later? Thursday. Okay. Never mind. Jimenez getting the goal there. Good little win against Netherlands. That Italy beating Moldova 6-0. El Shaarawy back in the Italian team, I think, after a bit out, getting 2 goals. Draxler beating Germany drawing to Turkey 3-3. Looks like they didn't play a full strength team, to be fair, with Draxler, Newhouse, and Welschmidt. And then who else is there? Nothing else good there. Denmark, Christian Pedersen, Birmingham City player, played in that game. Very cool to see. Him getting his first Danish cap while playing for Birmingham. I'd love to see it. And then going 4-0 up at half time and then just chilling for the rest of the game. It's a massive game. England versus Wales. England beating them 3-0, which is very good because we always seem to struggle against shitter teams. I mean that is quite disrespect to Wales, to be fair. But they're not the best, are they? They're not amazing. I remember when we played Scotland not long ago, we didn't do amazing. And I feel like it's always the home nations that we play worse against. And I feel like we should be beating Wales. We should be as good as England are. We should be beating Wales comfortably, and that's what we've done. So it's good to see that, especially with Calvert-Lewin. He played amazing. Calvert-Lewin getting his first goal. Cody getting his first goal. And was that Ings getting his first goal as well? Let me double check that. It might have been. I think it was because I'm pretty sure I saw it was the first time a 3 English players have scored their first goal for England since like a long time ago. So I think that might be his first goal for England. It was. That was his 3rd appearance and his first goal for England, which is good to see for him because he's also a very good player. But Calvert-Lewin looks like the real deal. To be fair, it's either he's a real deal or he's just in amazing form and it's going to end soon. Like, I hope he's the real deal because he looks really good, and I'm a massive fan of the way he's playing and stuff at the moment. Belgium with a draw to Ivory Coast actually, which is quite interesting. Sweden with the win against Russia. Isaac getting the goal there, young striker. And then next up we got Nothing interesting. Nothing really too interesting about the rest of them. Panama getting a win there. It's quite good for them, to be fair. Next up, UEFA Nations League. This is a bit more interesting now. This is about qualifying for the Euros now, isn't it? I'm pretty sure. So I still don't really get how this works, but England are doing pretty good in it, and that's what I care about really. So Montenegro beating Azerbaijan 2-0. Good win for Montenegro there. They should be beating Azerbaijan really, but Luxembourg beating Cyprus. Don't really know much about these two teams either. Germany beating Ukraine only 2-1 to be fair. And Malin Ski getting the penalty there. You would have thought Germany would beat him by a bit more than that, but Ginter and Goretzka with the goals there. Two decent German players. Against Spain, who beating Switzerland 1-0 there. Oyarzabal getting the goal. And do you know what? The thing is, apparently I think England are the favourites for Euros. And I think looking at other than France, I think a lot of the teams are getting a bit weaker, like Germany and Spain. A lot of them are getting a little bit weaker. I'm not saying that they're not good anymore, but they're not as good as they used to be, I don't think. And so I think England have got a good chance, but I don't think we're going to win it. But I think we've got a good chance. France are just too good at the moment. They've got too many world-class players for us to do anything against France. But I think we've got a decent chance. We then had Finland beating Bulgaria, and then Republic of Ireland drawing with Wales. Sorry, Russia and Turkey having a draw. Scotland beating Slovakia. Good win for Scotland there. Czech Republic beating Israel. Austria beating Northern Ireland. Norway beating Romania 4-0. I mean, we got Haaland on your team. It's quite hard not to win by 4 goals. Do you know what I mean? France drawing with Portugal. Croatia and Sweden. Croatia winning that one. Kramaric and Vlasic, 2 decent players there getting the goals. Denmark again, getting a decent result there. Another goal for Eriksson, doing well for his country. And then England, a massive win against Belgium. Obviously, I'm going to be pretty biased for England, but especially Belgium seem to be playing one of their full strength sides, and I don't think England particularly were. I think Grealish should be in our full strength side ahead of Mount, even though Mount scored. It was a very lucky goal. Rashford with a good pen, Lukaku with a good pen as well, to be fair. Dyer looks dire. But England beating Belgium, the team that beat us in the World Cup twice. So it's a very good win for England there. Very, very good win. Next up, Greece versus Moldova. Greece getting the win there. Good win for them. Estonia versus North Macedonia. Yeah, you just expect that kinda. Poland versus Italy. Good draw there for Poland. And then Bosnia versus Netherlands. Good draw for Bosnia there, really. Netherlands not doing the best recently. That's all that's really happened recently. In terms of football, it's quite shit, I know, but hey, welcome to the stream. Said no bonjour indeed. Keeping with the theme of today's stream, as we did get untradeable Pogba in our pack earlier, which is absolutely insane. But now we sped through that pretty quickly there, to be honest. Did not think it'd take us that it would be that quick, to be honest. But yeah, we sped through that quite quickly. I'm just going to log into Super 6, so so I can do that. Log in. There we go. There we go. Cool. I just wanted to hide the screen when I did that. We're back on. So now we're going to be going through exactly. Big up England for winning, even though we are shy. Exactly, man. Exactly. And do you know what? I do agree with us being favourite. I know. Actually, I don't. I think France should be favourites, and then us, then Belgium maybe. But I don't think Belgium have got the. I don't know. They just don't. They just seem to be missing something to be winning competitions. Do you know what I mean? They're a good squad, obviously. They just seem to be missing something. I don't know what it is. Can't put my finger on it, but maybe in the future. Although I don't think they'll ever have a better chance than this, because they've got one of the best players in the world right now, which is Kevin De Bruyne, along with a lot of other good talents. Will they ever be with it? Will Belgium ever have a better team than that? I don't know. I don't know. To have one of the best players in the world in your team, I don't think they will. I don't think they'll ever have a better team than that. But we'll see. We'll see. Anyway, let's get into it then. So we're going to go alphabetical order, because that's what it's in. And we're going to rank all of these teams from A, B, C, D, E, F, and say how they've done. So it could be, I think I might take out E, to be fair. I think I might take that out. Let's delete row. So you just go, you can have A, where you've smashed it, B, where you've done quite well, C, where you've just about passed, D, where you're just not making a pass, and then F, where you've absolutely failed. Yes, no worries, my guy. No worries. That is fine. If you need to get some extra sleep, then that is cool, my guy. Thank you for popping in. Regardless, I do appreciate it. So, first up is Arsenal. Now, I think JP's an Arsenal fan in the chat is saying A, and I do think I agree from what I know. But we're gonna have a little look through before I make a decision, just to back it up, and we'll talk about it and stuff. So let's look at the players they've got out so far. So they've let go of this guy on loan. That's not a big deal. Torreira going out on loan is a bit of a loss, but then with bringing in Thomas, I mean, it's a bit of a win for them actually. Mkhitaryan going to Roma on a free transfer. That's quite a bit of loss, especially he's worth about 18 mil. But I guess he's 31, so he's getting a bit old. Their transfers so far, my God, their transfers. This guy going out on loan, which is quite good for him. Guendouzi going out on loan. I'm quite surprised about that because it did seem like he was going to be a decent player. Apparently worth 28 mil, which I'm quite surprised about. I don't think he's worth that much. But he does seem to be a decent player, so I'm quite surprised he's going out on loan. Would have thought he'd be in their plans. And then Emiliano Martinez going to Aston Villa. Very good business for Villa. Maybe the price is a bit too much, but he's warranted the price so far. So good business for both teams there. Especially as he wasn't getting played by Martinez really. So the next up is so we've got Thomas joining. Thomas Partey, a massive signing, and a signing that they've needed for ages. A signing that they've needed for absolutely ages, and I'm a massive fan of it. I can't wait to see him play in the Prem because he's a good player. I know I haven't seen him play that much, to be honest, so I'm excited to see him play more. So my nose is just a bit itchy at the moment. Do you ever like the itchiness inside your mouth? You have to do that weird like. I don't know what it is, but yeah, I'm going off track. That's just disgusting. I won't chat about that. So yeah, Thomas Partey going to get them turns their window from probably like a C to an A. I think that is a massive signing for them. It's he's still only 27. They're selling for 45 mil. I think they probably won't get that much from him in the future unless he smashes it over here. But he's still a good signing. They need it. He probably fits their style of play very well. And they're backing the manager, which is what they need to be doing. They're backing Arteta. Which is good. They've got Cedric on a free, which is a decent signing just to back up and stuff. Willian is a great signing. I still think he's better than Chelsea thought he was. You know what I mean? And he's done amazing for Arsenal so far. And exactly, JP saying they got what they needed, and that's the truth. Gabriel seems like a very good sign at the moment. To get a 22-year-old centre back with how good he looks for only 23 million in today's market is a very good signing for them. Not too sure about Pablo Mari. Never really heard of him, so can't really say much on him. William Saliba coming back off loan. Has he gone back out on loan? I don't think he has. So hopefully they will be using him a bit because he's still a young player, and he still looks like he's going to be a decent looking player. So I am going to give Arsenal there a big fat A. I think they deserve it. I think they've had a good transfer window, way better than their recent transfer windows as well, and they're backing the manager, which is what I love to see. They just got to give him time now. Then it's amazing. Then they've done amazing there. So next up is Villa. I'm gonna try not to be biased, but I don't think I can be biased really because again I think they've had a great window, especially compared to last year where it seemed like they spent a lot of money. So that instead of spending like 27 million, what the fuck happened there? 27 million, 16, 15, 14. They spent like 5, 10 on a lot of players, whereas it seems like this time they've spent about 15 to 25 on 4 players. Do you know what I mean? That is just good business there. And all these players are good players. They're all decent age as well, like 23, 24, 25, 28, 26. Decent players. And it's just been a good window from them. I can't lie. It's been a very good window from them. And it hurts me to say. At first, when they just signed, who was it? They just signed Matty Cash after a while. I was kind of like, they're kind of flopping it here. Matty Cash is good, but he's going to fix all their problems. But now they've signed Emiliano Martinez, has been great for them. Bertrand Traoré, who is still yet to see in the Premier League, but played decent in the Cup. And he's a decent player, to be fair. And Ollie Watkins, who's played amazing. He's scored a hat-trick against Liverpool. And seems like a very good signing for them. Only 24 years of age and English as well. I mean, you can't really go wrong with that. And then Ross Barkley on loan is an absolutely amazing signing. I don't rate Ross Barkley that much, but I rate him enough for him to be a Villa player. I don't rate him enough for to be a Chelsea player. I don't think he should be in the Champions League and stuff. I think he should be in a team that's fighting for Europa League and stuff. And I'm very surprised he went to Villa. And obviously it's a very good signing for Villa. And then going out, they haven't really lost anyone that they want to be keeping. I'm surprised Andre Green actually has gone as a free agent. I thought he was a bit better than that. Nylander, he would be a decent backup goalkeeper for a lot of teams. Letting Danny Drinkwater go back is probably a good idea. So is Pepe Reina, not the best. Selling Scott Hogan to Birmingham. They've lost a lot of money on him there, so that isn't amazing from them, but not the worst thing in the world. Samata going out on loan, probably needed that. Probably just best to sell in, to be fair, but I think they want to try and get them recuperate the money that they bought him for. James Bree going out on loan, probably needed, 22 years of age. Good to see James Chester going somewhere else after how he's played. Hotter never really did well. I think Birmingham fans knew he wasn't going to do well at Villa, and he didn't. My PS4 making just the maddest noises. Literally nothing new. It's not even on. It just beeped for no reason. And then Hepburn Murphy as well, going out on loan. Decent little player, him as well. So again, I think I'm going to have to give him an A. At first, it wasn't amazing, but I think they're going to have an A. They've had a great transfer window, and they've got what they've needed, and they seem like a way better team this season than they were last season. So yeah, it's going to have to be an A, unfortunately. Next up is Brighton and Hove Albion. I think straight off the bat, from initial thoughts, I'm thinking like a D. They haven't failed, but they haven't done much really, have they? We look at who they've brought in. They've brought in where is Lamptey? They did sign Lamptey this season, didn't they? I swear they signed Lamptey this season. Young right back. I don't know. Oh, God. Pardon me for yawning. Newcastle. Yeah, literally. I could see him. Yeah, I could see him starting for any of those teams. Going back to like, I could see him going to Wolves and being a decent player. Going to Leicester and being a decent player. And he's gone to Villa, and it's just surprising to me. But yeah, so they've signed Jacob Moder from Lech Poznan, who I can't say I've heard of. For a fee of 9 million. 21 years of age though, so that's not bad. This guy is a left back again. Can't say I've heard of him. From Legia Warsaw, signing the Polish duo. Again, can't say I've heard of him. This guy I haven't heard of him really either. Joel Veltman, I've heard of him. Decent backup centre back. I think 28 years of age. Did play for Ajax before, so I'd say it's a decent signing there. To be fair, not a bad signing. Adam Lallana, not a bad signing either. I'd say it's quite a good signing actually on a free. As much as he is 32 now and he's not the player he used to be, he'll still do a job in there for you, I'd say. So that's not bad either. But what I'm saying is they haven't signed anyone who's going to massively improve their team, have they? They haven't signed anyone who you're like, fucking hell, they could do, like Villa did with Ollie Watkins and Emilio Martinez, where you like, that's a good sign and that'll improve their team. They haven't signed anyone like that. Lallana is obviously, I mean, the thing is, you say he will get into the starting 11, but then will he? He's a bit old now. Will he play every game? I don't think he will. And so Joel Veltman as well. Will he play every game? I don't know. And so I just don't think they've had that much of a great window. I'm going to put them down in D, and I'm very sorry to Brighton fans for doing that, but it's just how I feel. And then with losing players, I don't think they've lost anyone that crazy. They lost Knockout to Fulham for 10 mil. He has been a decent player, but nothing crazy. Aaron Moy going to Shanghai. That's a big loss, I'd say. He's been a great player for them, and for when he was at Huddersfield as well, he was a great player for them too. Shane Duffy, a decent player as well. I don't know why they've let him go out on loan. Anyone else that they've lost who I really think is that? They've loaned out Moda straight back, which is obviously not what you really want. And that other guy, the other Polish guy. Not really what you really want when you're spending almost 15 million. You don't really want to be just loaning them back out straight away, do you? So it just doesn't really do it for me. Have they failed? There might even be a fail there, you know, with signing those two players and just sending them straight back out on loan. They've barely made any improvements. And then losing Aaron Moy as well. I'm going to put him down in F for now, but we might change our mind, but I'm going to put him down in F for now. Next up is Burnley. Again, straight at the back, you were looking at that and thinking that is awful. Dale Stevens from Brighton, who's 31 years of age for 900 grand. Will Norris. Ben Gibson, back off loan. Jimmy Dunn, back off from the under-23s. That is not very good. And then losing Jeff Hendrick and Joe Hart. Do you know what? They might be an F as well. They've lost. Jeff Hendrick is a decent player as well. Worth 8.8 million, and he's gone to Newcastle on a free. Joe Hart worth like 2 mil, gone for a free. I'd say it could be an F as well. You know, I haven't signed anyone at all really. They're just kind of sat there, so we are going to stick them down in F as well. F in the chat indeed. I think we're going to be Brighton up. I think they've done better than Burnley, so we'll do that. Brighton go there, Burnley go in the bottom. I would hate to be a Burnley fan in that. Next up is Chelsea. I mean, I think we already know how this is going to happen. I mean, Kai Havertz, Timo Werner, Ben Chilwell, Ziyech, Marlon Sarr, Edward Mendy, Thiago Silva. Fuck me, those are some real signings. Let's be honest. The only thing you can say about that is that maybe it's too much too soon. Maybe take a while for them to gel. And Kai Havertz and Timo Werner seem like they're kind of just in that transition period at the moment. Chilwell seems like he's gone and done well straight away. Ziyech still yet to see him. Marlon Sarr still yet to see him as well. Has he gone out on loan actually, Marlon Sarr? I'm not sure. So maybe it's too much too soon, I'd say maybe. And it's a lot of pressure put on these players and on Lampard. But to get Kai Havertz for around his market value and to get Timo Werner for under his market value is really good business. Especially 21 and 24 years of age. And Ben Chilwell, young English left back as well. He's probably going to be in their team for years to come. Getting him for only 10 million above his market value. Probably get, if they want to sell him in the future, they could get way more than that. Same with Havertz and Werner. I mean, it is just good business, isn't it? If you look at it in that way, it's just good business. And Ziyech, who played well against him in the Champions League last season, still 27 years of age. Marlon Sarr, 21. So you see, a former Brazilian international, probably still Brazilian international, Champions League winner, very good player, won titles wherever he's gone. You can't get that experience. You can't put a price on that experience. Do you know what I mean? To get him in the team is a very good thing for them. So it is just good business in every single way from them, really. So I think it's going to get. The only thing you could say for them being in B or C is that it's put a lot of pressure on Lampard and the players, but it's just good business all around, really. That's all you can say. So next up is Crystal Palace. Well, actually, before we make a big decision, we'll have a quick look at this and just make sure there isn't anything that we've missed out on there. Getting 50 million for Morata is just mental. I don't know how they managed that. Never really heard of this Pulisic, but getting 30 million is worth 22 mil might not be the greatest business. Bakayoko, when they paid them out money for him, that was a while ago though, so that's not their fault now. Losing Willian, I'd say, is quite big. He's still decent. Pedro, both can still do a job, but obviously they want to try and improve, don't they? So I guess they've got to get rid of some players to try and improve, and the rest are all loan players really. So the rest don't really matter. Yeah, so we'll stick him in A still. Next up is Crystal Palace. I think Crystal Palace had a decent signing, a decent window to be fair. Not a crazy window, but a decent window. I think Eberechi is a great signing. I don't think he's a signing where he's going to come in and make them into like a Europa League pushing side or get them out of that bottom half where they've been recently. But I'd say it's a pretty good window. Yeah, everyone knows how good Eberechi is. He's English. He's only 22 years of age. It's a great signing. So yeah, for 16 million, great signing. Nathan Ferguson on a free transfer is an amazing signing. He's a really good player. I'd have loved him at Blues for free as well. It's just insane. Batshuayi as well, getting him back on loan. Good signing. He's a good striker. He just isn't. Doesn't seem like he's in favour at Chelsea, and you can see why. They got Giroud, they got Tammy, they got Timo Werner. You can see why he's out of favour there. To be fair, and he probably wants to get game time. He's been here before. Probably enjoys being with his mates and that here. So that's a good signing for them as well. So that's a decent signing for them. Hey, Abby, welcome to the stream. We're doing a transfer window tier list. We put Chelsea as A. We've ranked them as A for their transfer window. So I'd say losing Saul for 18 mil, nothing crazy. I mean, he was pretty shit when he was in the Premier League, so losing him for 18 mil is nothing that bad. So I'd say it's a pretty good transfer window for them. I'm going to put it in C for now, but they could go up into the B tier. They could definitely go up into the B tier, but right now it is in C. Because there's nothing there where you think that is an amazing signing. You think, I did say it's an amazing signing, to be fair, for free. But I'd say it's an amazing signing for the future. I wouldn't say it's an amazing signing for now. He won't come in and go and be like the best right back in the league, will he? He won't come in and be the best right back in the bottom half of the league. He'll come in and be like a decent right back for the future. 19 years of age. Eberechi, again, Great signing for the future, but right now he'll be okay. He'll do decent, but he won't be like a game changer. Do you know what I mean? He won't come in and change Crystal Palace, which is what you look for in a signing. Do you know what I mean? So I think they go down in C for now, but they could go to B. We'll see. We'll see. Next up is Everton. I mean, again, I think we know how this is going to happen. I think we know how this is going to go. I mean, you're looking at the fees they pay for these players as well. It's just insane. Like, that is just mental. But straight away, okay, so Everton, I think my first reaction is A. Ben Godfrey is 22 years of age, English centre-back. Had a decent season for Norwich last season, even though they got relegated. Only 24 mil, and about 10 mil over in market value. I'd say it's a very good signing from them. Good signing for the future. Again, won't come in and just change things straight away, but it'll probably come in and be a decent centre-back, maybe on the bench a few games, maybe starting a few games, and be good for the future. Only 22 years of age as well. Next up, Allen, the amazing signing, Champions League player, Europa League player for Napoli. To get him for 22 million, the decent experience, playing for Brazil as well. I mean, again, you can't really put a price on that. I mean, 22 mil, but you know what I mean. He's a very good player, and holding the midfield with Abdoulaye Doucouré. Again, they went down last season, but he was one of the standout players for Watford last season, and for previous seasons as well. He's been a very good player for Watford for a long time, and coming in and playing for a manager in Carlo Ancelotti is very good. Do you know what I mean? These two midfield. Next player is I like it, CGA. It's good to know that you know your ABCs, my guy. Next up is this guy. I've never really heard of him, so we'll skip that. The next up is James Rodriguez. How on earth did Everton get James Rodriguez on a free transfer? Can someone explain that to me? Can someone just tell me that right now? He's still only 29, so he's still got a few years left in him. How? He has been unreal for Everton so far, and they look like a really good team. How on earth have they got him on a free transfer? It makes no sense. I just don't get it. He could have gone to a whole load of teams, and he went to Everton. I guess it's because of Carlo Ancelotti and him playing together with him before. But that is just mental. It is just mental. And I cannot believe it. So yeah, that's just crazy to me that they've got him, and that right there, that transfer right there, and because it's worked out so well so far, that just means it's A. That just means it's A straight away. But then when you add Doucouré, Allen, and Godfrey onto that, it's just like, Jesus Christ. Let someone else have a good transfer window, please. And to get rid of the deadwood like Schneiderlin and Stecklenburg, I can't believe he's still there. Fucking hell. Born in 1982. I did not know he was still playing. He's 38 years of age. Get a Luke Garbutt as well, and to loan up Moise Keane as well. He doesn't seem like he's the best player in the world, but he's going to PSG on loan, so you know what I mean. To get rid of Theo Walcott as well. A lot of deadwood there. Nias, Martina, Baines retiring. It just seems like they've done everything that they needed to do, and more. So they're definitely going in A for that. So that's very good from them. Very, very good. Maybe Villa drop down to B. You know, maybe Villa drop down to B, because when you look at the players that these guys have signed, but I guess no, they're staying A. They stay in A because they've signed players relative to how good they are. Do you know what I mean? Next up is Fulham. Now, again, when I think of them, I'm thinking D. But we'll have a quick look and see if there's anyone that I've forgotten about. I'm not entirely sure. I don't think there is. But we'll have a double check just to make sure. So they've signed Anthony Knockaert from Brighton, who I don't rate that much. I think he's a championship player. I think he's a championship level player, and I think that's about it really. I haven't changed the title of the stream, have I? That's what I need to do. I just realised. Just chatting. Is it cheap? I've been doing this for over half an hour, and I've just realised. Rating, Premier League clubs, transfer windows. There we go. Literally just hit me. Everton did indeed do a FIFA. If they win the league, then they're definitely doing a FIFA. Harrison Reed is okay. Nothing crazy there. Kenny Tete, not a bad signing. Aina, again, not a bad signing. None of them are like, yeah, that's really good. Do you know what I mean? Lamina, Anthony Robinson, he's not bad. but I feel like he should have gone to a Championship team. He's probably not good enough for the Prem. Lookman's not bad either. He wasn't bad for Everton when he was here, but he's only on loan and paid 1.8 million for the loan as well. This guy, 23 years of age, young English centre back for 1.4 mil. I mean, that's just low risk really. He could turn out to be good in the future. This guy, he's apparently got a worth of 14 mil. They got him on loan. Actually, that's not amazing. I love his Cheek on loan, which is a decent signing. We'll say that is a very decent signing. And Areola on loan is a decent signing as well. He's a decent keeper. But nothing crazy there. Do you know what I mean? Nothing that jumps out and says that'll make Fulham better. There is no one on that list that I think that'll make Fulham stay up this season. Do you know what I mean? Loftus Cheek is the only one there really that I think that could be a good start to Fulham staying up this season. But I still don't think it will. Do you know what I mean? So I think they go down in D for me. It's a decent window, but it wasn't amazing. Do you know what I'm saying? It wasn't amazing. They lost anyone that they really care about? Doesn't look like it really. Just loaned out Steven Sessegnon. It's Ryan Sessegnon. Never mind. That I'm thinking of. Yeah, nothing really crazy there. So yeah, I'd say it wasn't that amazing, was it? It wasn't bad. It wasn't an F. You didn't fail, but you didn't do amazing. Next up is Leeds, right? So again with this one, it's hard, you know, because they've got Rodrigo in, and he scored. He scored against Man City of all teams, but he only scored. Let me go have a look. Rodrigo. I think we can probably click on him on Transfer Market actually. If we go like that and open a new tab. And because you look at him, and if you play FIFA, you're thinking, yeah, you think, you know what, 83 rated, Spanish striker, plays for Valencia. You're like, you know what, he's quite decent, isn't he? But then you actually look at his stats, and he's not done that well recently. So we've got all seasons, if it loads. So yeah, last season he played 27 games and scored 4 goals. Is that assists? But they did get 9 assists. That's not that bad actually. So he had 13 goal involvements in 27 games, which I guess isn't the worst. But you just want someone better than that, I'd imagine. But he was playing the Champions League last season. He scored 2 and assisted in the Champions League, which is pretty fucking good. So I guess he's a decent signing. He's a decent signing. You can't take that away. He's a decent signing. 27 million, maybe not. But I guess that's under his market value. So you know. He plays the Spanish national team as well, so I guess you can't really go wrong with that. Diego Llorente, not a bad signing. A good little centre back there, paying about his market value as well. Rafinha, good signing there. Only 23 years of age as well. Brazilian winger, getting Helder Costa permanently as well. Maybe paid a bit too much for him, probably for how much he's going to do this season, but good nonetheless. They probably rate him. They probably rate him about 15 million for how good he's been for them. Robin Koch, only 24 years of age, German centre back. I'd say it's a good signing, getting him under the market value. Only 11 million for a 23-year-old centre back is a good signing to me. This guy is a good signing for the future, definitely. 18 years of age, very decent striker. To get for 900 grand from Wigan is a very good signing. To get Jack Harrison on loan, I think that's back on loan actually as well. Yeah, back on loan. That's a very good signing for them. I'd say. He's been very good at the start of this season. Scored a very good goal against Liverpool in the first game, and then the rest, nothing too crazy. So that's a decent sign. I'd say that the window is probably a C for me. I'd say again, there's nothing in there that makes you think that's crazy. To be fair, well, when they first saw Rodrigo, I was like, that's kind of crazy. When I looked into it, I was like, he's not that amazing, but he's good enough. Do you know what I mean? I'd say it's a C. I'd say it's a C. It's nowhere near an A. It's definitely a C. I'm happy to give that a C. They haven't really lost anyone of significance either, so I'd say it's definitely a C for me. We've got no one in the B yet. We've got no one in the B. I'd say Leeds is more likely to be B than Crystal Palace are, to be honest. Right, next up is Leicester. Sorry, and now straight off the bat, I don't think I think it'd probably be a D. They haven't really signed anyone that crazy. They signed Castagne, he's been a decent player. And they signed this Wesley Fofana, who I've never really actually heard of. When did they sign him? 19 years of age, 31 million. Centre back. And then losing Ben Chilwell can't be good for them. Although it has worked out so far, they're not playing too bad, and they're playing just in there and Castagna on the right. But I'd say it's probably a C. They've not done much, but they haven't really not passed. They got rid of one of their best players in Chilwell, but they replaced him in Castagna. Obviously moving what's his name out to the left and putting Castagna right back. I'm never a fan of loan fees. I feel like if you have to pay for a loan, it's not a good business. But we'll see how good this guy is. He's rated at 20 mil, so he must be decent. 23 years of age. And Castagna, 24, obviously very good player. He seems like very good so far. He seems like a very good signing. And Wesley Fofana, 19-year-old centre-back, paid 31 million for him. So I feel like they've kind of overpaid there. 55 million for just those three players just doesn't seem like good business to me. But it could turn out to be good business in the future. But right now, it doesn't seem like the best business to me. So I'd say that's probably a C. They've lost one of the best players and replaced him, and then got two other players in the process as well. And they're all decent, like young players as well. So I'd say that's probably a C for me. Oh, my nose has gone really runny, you know. I don't know why. It's pissing me off. Next up is Liverpool. Now, I'd say they've had a decent window, but nothing crazy. Do you know what I mean? They've got backup in areas where they needed backup, like at left back and up top. And they've signed a very good player, a very, very good player. This is probably what makes them maybe get a B instead of a C, or maybe get a C instead of a D in Thiago. They've signed, I think, do you know what? They probably would have been D if it wasn't for Thiago. Thiago is a very good signing. To get him for 19 million is unreal, even though he is 29 years of age. To get him for 19 million is crazy. I mean, that kind of helps justify the 40 million paid for Diogo Jota. Because as much as he is a decent player and he's only 23, 40 mil is a bit steep. Do you know what I mean? So, never really heard of Tsimikas, but he seems like a decent player. Left back, 24 years of age, Greek. I mean, he's just probably back up there for Robertson. This is probably very good for them, helping them get higher up. He's getting 23 million for Ryan Brewster, who, I keep saying this, has never ever played a Premier League game. He's never played a Premier League game, and they got 23 million for him. Can someone explain that to me? I know he's a good young player. He played one in the championship last season. 23 million. He's never played a Premier League game. I don't think I can justify it. I just don't think I can. To get rid of Deadwood Lovren is good. I'm surprised they let this guy go. He seems like a decent player. To get more Deadwood like Lallana, Karius as well, getting him back out on loan. Ojo, I mean, I'm annoyed Blues didn't go after him. He seems like a decent player, to be honest. And again, Nathaniel Klein, get rid of him as well, is good, and Lonergan as well. So I think with the money they got for Brewster and the money they paid for Thiago, and Harta's a good signing. I'd say it's C. It's nothing crazy. Thiago's a very, very good signing, but is he going to change him that much? I'm not sure. So I think I'm going to put them in C. For now, because you got to take out the big club bias as well, because you're looking at Liverpool and Arsenal and Chelsea and seeing the fees are paid and them. You're like, oh, they got Havertz that today, but Villa can't afford a player Havertz, and they need to get players that are good for them. Do you know what I mean? Are good enough for them. That's the kind of things you're thinking about. So that's why I haven't put Liverpool in B, because you don't want to get drawn in by seeing that this on Thiago's got to be B. Do you know what I mean? Maybe if they signed Hutter for a bit cheaper, they could be a bit lower. But for me, I'd say it's a C. Nothing too crazy. But they don't need to do anything too crazy, to be honest. They don't need to do anything too crazy because they won the league last season. So what do they need to do, really? How can they improve on that? Next is Man City. Now, I need to hydrate, man. Now, Man City are an interesting one because they have signed Nathan Ake for 40 million, which I think is a bit overpriced. And as good as the centre back is, I don't think he's at the level of Man City. But I mean, he's played well so far, and I'm still yet to see if he is at the level of Man City. He might be, but I'm just not convinced. Ferran Torres is a great signing, especially for 20 million. Only 20 years of age, Spanish. I mean, to get him for 20 million is very, very good. But then to pay 60 million for a centre back in Ruben Diaz, who Never played in the Premier League. He's 23 years of age, Portuguese though. I just don't know. I just feel like, judging from just from this little bit here, I'd say that's probably C. But Ferran Torres is very good business. Very, very good business. 20 years of age, 20 mil. They're going to get, if they want to sell him in the future, they're going to get more than that. Way more than that. And they sold, there you go, that gets it down a bit. They've got rid of Leroy Sané, who's an amazing player. I rate Sané so highly. It's unreal. And for them to only get 40 mil for him, when his market value is 72 mil, oof, that is not good. They got rid of Deadwood and Otamendi, which is pretty good for them. And then after that, they've Alex Garcia, who seemed like a decent young player, to lose him in a free transfer. David Silva, to lose him in a free transfer as well. Bravo. I mean, they don't really care about. They don't really need any of those players, do they? I think that's a C. I think that's a C. But then that's a big L, losing Sané for that much and paying. It might be a D, you know. It might be a D. I feel like they kind of rushed the Diaz signing. I feel like they would have rather gone for someone else, you know, like Koulibaly. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, no worries, my guy. No worries. No worries. If you've got problems, it is all good. I think it could be a D for Man City. Because I feel like they've overspent on like, the 146 million on... The only player that is worth the money they've spent, I think, is Ferran Torres. Yeah, I'm going to put him in D, you know. It might be controversial, but I'm going to put him in D. I think they've overspent. That's just it, really. Next is Man United. I think, straight off the bat, I think they're in D as well. Just off first impressions. But we'll have a little look and see what we say. But actually, you know, after looking at it again, just right now, I think it could be C. Your EA account. My stream. Oh, okay. Oh, that's pretty shit, isn't it? Are you going to stream tonight then as well? Let me know if you are. I'll put you one in the background. But yeah, so... I mean, the first thing you think about is Sancho. They didn't get Sancho, who they were after the whole transfer window. They didn't get Bellingham, who they're after as well. I mean, Cavani, I think he's a decent signing, but nothing crazy. He's a bit over the hill now, do you know what I mean? He still do decent. I think he'll still get a decent amount of goals. I think he'll still get at least like 8 goals. But I don't think he'll get any more than that, really. Dean Henderson's just back off alone, so you can't really say that. Van der Beek is a great signing, though, and to get him under market value as well. 35 mil for Van der Beek is a very, very good signing in today's market, I'd say. Only 23 years of age, one of the best centre mids around at the moment. This Diallo, I've not really heard of him, so can't really comment on him. Tellez is a good signing for 13 million. I didn't know that. That is very good business, actually. I did not know they were signing for 13 million. So it'd be good to see him play as well. So actually, they could be B. With Van der Beek, Tellez, and Cavani, for the money they paid. Yeah, when you hear Van der Beek, Tellez, and Cavani, and only hear 75 mil, you think, you know what, that's a good business. That is very good business. They no lower. They needed a defender, didn't get one. Wanted Sancho, didn't get him. That is true, actually. They needed a centre back, didn't they? They didn't get one. But that is very good business for those players, though. That is very good business. They've sold Smalling, which you would have thought they'd want to give him another chance after he played so well for Roma. Other than that, they've really lost anyone who of significance. I think C. I think C, actually. I think C. Because those transfers are very good business. But as JP's rightly pointed out, they wanted a centre back, they didn't get one. They're going after Sancho, they didn't get him. So I think, yeah, I think a C is probably about right for them. Almost a B though, almost a B, because that is very good business getting those 3 players for 75 mil, well less than 75 mil. So, and a few youngsters in there as well who look decent. So, next up is Newcastle, who I think straight off the bat, I think is probably a B. I think they're going to be the first team in the B. I think Callum Wilson and Ryan Fraser aren't like amazing signings, aren't like the best signings in the league, but they are very good signings for Newcastle. Do you know what I mean? They could be A, to be fair. They could be A, because Callum Wilson is a goal scorer. We've already seen he's scored a few goals already. No worries, my guy. Well, thank you for coming in. I do appreciate it. I hope you have a good evening. Get some good sleep as well. I do appreciate you, my guy. Callum Wilson is a great signing. Even though Bournemouth did go down last season, to get for 20 mil, English striker for 20 mil, that is good signing. Explain that to me. How is Callum Wilson worth less than Ryan Brewster? How is that possible? But yeah, so that's a good signing straight at the bat. So that puts them quite high up. Jamal Lewis from Norwich, another great signing. 22 years of age, English. Or is he Northern Irish? He might be Northern Irish. Yeah, he is. Oh, I thought he was English. Has he chosen to play for Northern Ireland then? Oh, I didn't know that. Well, either way, he's homegrown, I think, so that helps. And then for only 14 mil, a good young 22-year-old left back is very, very good. And to get Jeff Hendrick on a free, he's a decent player. So that's a very good transfer as well. Ryan Fraser on a free. One of the best players in the last few seasons. Obviously not last season, seasons before. High chances created, high assists, and he's already shown how good he is this season. So what do we do here? Do we put him at A or do we put him at B? I don't know. They've done very good business, haven't they? Very, very good business. All for quite cheap as well. 34 mil for Callum Wilson, Jamal Lewis, Jeff Hendrick, and Ryan Fraser. I think they belong in A. I think they belong in A. You know. I think they belong in A. I think that is very good business for Newcastle there. And they strengthened where they needed as well, and they haven't lost anyone of significance either. I think they belong in A. Next up is Sheffield United, who I think straight off the bat, I think it could be an F. It could be an F for me. It could be an F. It might be a D, but I think it could be an F. I think that I'm just not. I know I keep going about it. I'm just not a fan of that Ryan Brewster for 20 mil. I just don't see how he warrants it. Losing Dean Henderson as well it wasn't very good, but they did replace him with Aaron Ramsdale. But I think we all know that Dean Henderson is better than Ramsdale. Oliver Burke, I don't think he's a very good signing. I think they're doing what we do on FM and just buy all the regular players on free. Yeah, literally, yeah. That's what West Ham did. That's what Newcastle did, isn't it? Jaden Bogle and Max Lowe are decent signings. Two young English fullbacks for cheap money as well, the same money actually. But you look at that. They paid 56 million on who? Literally, like you look at that and you think, how on earth have they spent 56 million there? I don't think Ampadu is going to be that good for them. I think it could be F. It definitely could be F here. I think it is F, and it's mainly because of that signing there. That's not a bad signing. I'm not particularly convinced by that. These two are decent, but they're not going to change their team now, are they? I think it's F. I think it's F for Sheffield. I think they maybe need to improve a bit more than that to do better this season. Yeah, literally the same with me, mate. The same with me. Especially when they've gone from Dean Henderson to him as well. I just think it's a bit too much of a downgrade. Well, it's not that much of a downgrade, but it's not. They wanted to get Dean Henderson better than they didn't. So next up is Southampton, who I think have had a decent window. Actually, I look at it and think no, actually no, they haven't. I'm not a massive fan of the window they've had. Losing Højbjerg, who's been one of their best players in recent seasons, for only 14 mil. Isn't the best. He's 25 years of old and he's 25 years of age and he's worth 18 plus mil. Losing Cedric as well. Lamina. Obviously, they don't think those players are needed, but Kyle Walker-Peters is not good enough for me. Not good enough at all for me. I don't know how I don't know how Tottenham got 12 million for him. Mohamed Salisu, someone who I've signed on career mode actually before. No Football Manager, and he's a decent young player, but I'm not sure how much he's going to play at the moment. Phil Walcott's a bit past it now. It's cool to see him going back to a team that he started, but I just don't think. I think that could be an F as well, you know. I think that could be an F. It just doesn't seem that they've strengthened that much. They kept hold of Ings, but obviously I don't think anyone was really after him. I think it could be a D. I don't know, F or D. Yeah, you know that's true. I think he's a bit too old now, though, isn't he? I think it could be a D for Southampton. D or F. I think it's D. They've had a better transfer window than these two. They'd definitely have a better transfer window than these two. But yeah, they spent 36 million. I guess you should say who on, like who's. And this guy's 21 years of age. I mean, they're all young players, is what you can say. All the players they bought are all young players, and they could get better. But then losing Højbjerg is not good. It's hard. Oh, we're gonna give them a D. We're gonna give them a D because I think they've had better windows than Sheffield and Burnley. Next is Tottenham. I think they've had a great window. I think the last two signings of Gareth Bale and Reguilon have been the main reasons I'm saying that. But getting, you know what, getting Lo Celso permanently is a great signing. He was great for them. Reguilon is a great signing. He was good last season. Doherty is a great signing. He was been amazing for Wolves. Højbjerg, I don't think he's the best signing in the world. I think he's okay, but I don't think definitely do well with a Southampton or a lower club. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, it's just if they need a keeper, really, isn't it? It's just if someone needs a keeper. Getting Joe Hart is a bit of a weird one for me. I mean, it's a free transfer, so you can't really go wrong with that. But they've had a good signing, you know. They've had a good window. And getting Bale on loan is good. And if they're getting on a permanent in the future, it's even better. It's got to hope he can recapture his form he had when he was here. But then you take into account they spent 88 million and they haven't bought anyone who's that crazy, that amazing. Like you haven't bought anyone who's like a Thiago or that high caliber. Do you know what I mean? They bought people who are good caliber, but not that high caliber. I think they're gonna be our first B team. I think they're gonna be our first team to be. They made good signings, and they've got decent money for Kyle Walker-Peters. So you know what, it was a decent window, but nothing too crazy. Do you know what I'm saying? Nothing too crazy. Reguilon and Gareth Bale definitely bumped it up though. If it wasn't for them two, it probably would have been a C or maybe even a D. They probably would have been a C with Lo Celso, Doherty, and Højbjerg. Probably would have been a C, but they go in B for now. Next up is West Bromwich Albion. I don't think they've had a good window at all, from what I can remember. I mean, Grady Diangana is a great signing. He's shown already. Permanently, he's a great signing. Getting Pereira on a permanent as well is a good signing actually too. Both young players. Kipre from Wigan as well is a good signing, but nothing. He's not going to come in and change their team. Is he? For 900 grand, I would have liked Blues to go for that actually. To be honest, Ivanovic is going to be good for experience and stuff, but is he going to play that much? I'm waiting to see if he's going to play that much actually. Callum Robinson again, is he amazing? I'm not actually sure. He's okay, but I don't think he's like that amazing. Do you know what I'm saying? So I'd say they've got. I'd say they've had a C there, haven't they? They've had a C. They've signed players. They're signing some decent young players in these three. They've got good experience in him and another young player in that. Haven't spent too much. And then they've got rid of people who they didn't really need, like Oliver Berg. They got decent money for him. Lecco, I'm surprised they let him go for so cheap to us, 900 grand. Nathan Ferguson was probably a bit of an L for them actually. He's a good player, and letting him go on a free transfer is a bit of an L. So I'm going to say a C for them. I'm going to say a C. Diangana is a very good signing, so I'm going to say a C for them. Next up is West Ham. Now, this could change. I've seen they're after Ben Rama at the moment, and that'd be an amazing signing for them. Absolutely amazing signing if they got that. But other than that, getting Souček kind of permanent is pretty good. Other than that, they haven't really signed anyone, have they? Diangana letting him go is a big mistake. Other than that, they haven't really. Yeah, I think that's an F. You know, I think that could be an F. I think that's pretty much an F. Obviously, it could change. It definitely could change. I'm not saying it's an F for the rest of it. If they sign Ben Rama, it definitely could go up to a C or a D. But after the season they had last season, and only just signing someone who they had last season anyway, it just doesn't sound good to me. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't sound good to me at all. So that is pretty much an F for me. As good as Souček is, it's an F for me. And last but not least is Wolverhampton Wanderers, who I think, this is a weird one. This is a very weird one because they've spent 73 million, and then you kind of like hit on who? On Nelson Semedo, who he's okay, but is he really that good? I mean, he's playing for Barcelona, so he's obviously got some quality. But all I can think about is him getting absolutely dupied by fucking Alphonso Davies in that Champions League game. Fabio Silva, they're spending 36 million, which is 26 million over his market value. Obviously, he's a young prospect, but I just don't think he's probably worth that much at the moment. Hoover as well. Again, I don't think he's ever played any Premier League games, and he's somehow got 8 million for him. I don't think he's going to come in and do that amazing. Markel's a decent bit of business for 1 mil. He's a good little backup left back. And then other than that, I just don't think Getting 40 million for Hutter is a good deal, I'd say. And then they've got people like Podence and Neto who can replace him, so that's decent. And Helder Costa. But then you just look at it and see 73 million spent, but on who? You know what I mean? On who? I just don't think. I think when you take into account Fabius was 18 years of age, he's a good young prospect, playing for Porto. I think a lot of teams rated him highly. They played under market value for Semedo. As much as I might not rate him, a lot obviously other people do. He's a good replacement for Doherty. And they've got players who can replace Hutter. They didn't even need to buy a replacement. They've got decent money for him. They've got decent money for Helder Costa as well. They've got good enough money for Doherty. I'd say it's a D. It isn't awful, but it's a D. I'd say it's not bad, but it definitely could have been better. It definitely could have been better. I think they could have spent their money more wisely there. But again, do they really need to? I guess they want to be pushing for Champions League and stuff, so maybe they do need to. But yeah. So that is my transfer tier list. That is me ranking every single Premier League club's transfer window and saying how I think they've done. I think the winners of the transfer window so far have been Everton, then Chelsea, then Villa. Probably the Everton, then Villa, and then Chelsea actually. Then Newcastle, then Arsenal. Because Arsenal haven't had their players play yet, like Partey and that. So, but yeah. So I hope you all enjoyed that. And that'll almost be at the end of the Rosa podcast. So we're quickly going to go over to Super 6 and do our predictions. Birmingham are in there, my team. And then that'll be the end of this episode. So I'll probably... I'm going to take a photo of that so I can bang it on Twitter. Ooh, my phone's on 5%. I need to put it back on charge. Yeah, let's take a photo of that so I can bang it on Twitter in a bit. There we go. Cool, use photo. And then put my phone back on charge. Can't believe I almost let it die. And then that's that sorted. Cool. Cool. So we can then move on to Super 6, and that'll be the end of that episode. And then we'll move on to some Among Us if people are up for it. But yeah. So Chelsea versus Southampton. What are Southampton results like recently? So they beat West Brom 2-0. You expect that. They beat Burnley 1-0. Again, you probably expect that. They lost to Tottenham 5-2. They looked awful in that game, by the way. They lost to Brentford. They lost to Crystal Palace, and they beat Sheffield. Chelsea beat Crystal Palace, drew to Tottenham, drew to West Brom, beat Barnsley, lost to Liverpool, beat Brighton. I think Chelsea are going to win. I think 3-1. I think they're going to win 3-1. I think Bournemouth, QPR. Bournemouth have started the season quite well. QPR haven't started it as well. Away from home, they're not doing the best. But they're not doing awful, really. And then at home, Bournemouth are doing okay. Yeah, that's a Bournemouth win there. I'm going to say 2-0 to Bournemouth there. Next up is Rotherham versus Norwich. I think Rotherham haven't started awfully, but they haven't started amazing. They got a decent draw away at Birmingham. They got a decent draw at home. I mean, they should have really won that game. 96-minute equaliser for Huddersfield. Only lost 1-0 to they're not conceding or scoring many goals here. And they conceded 3 to Rochdale somehow. But then Norwich have lost their last 2 games, both by 1-0. They were lucky to lose that one, to be fair. They were lucky to lose that. I mean, Pukki missed a pen and really scored a beautiful free kick. I mean, there's not much you can do about that, really. I think Norwich are going to win this one. Just about. I think I'm going to say 2-1 to Norwich. It could be 1-1 actually. Ooh, I think it's going to be 1-1 actually. Yeah, I think I'm going to say 1-1. Next is Blackburn versus Nottingham. I think Blackburn are going to win this straight away. And look at Nottingham's form. Fucking hell. They haven't scored. They've scored 2 goals in the last 6 and conceded 2, 3, 5, 7, 8, 12. Conceded 12 in 6 and scored 2. He's awful. Blackburn have scored 9, 11, 14 and conceded 5, 6. They've conceded 6. Scored 14, conceded 6. So I think Blackburn are going to win this game. I think they're going to win 3. I think they win 3-0. You know, I think it's going to be a bit less than that. Actually, I think that might come back a bit better. It's going to be 2-0. I think I'm going to put 3-0, fuck it. Next up is Brentford versus Coventry. Then Brentford are going to win this game. As much as they bottled it against Preston, I think they are going to win this game. They played very well against Fulham. Did Southampton play Brentford? They did. Yeah. So they've been okay this season. Better give Norwich a good score, Ben. Why have I got to give Norwich a good score? What are you saying that for? Brentford. I think Brentford are going to beat Coventry, but how much? That is the question. What is the score going to be? Coventry are scoring most games here, actually. 0-0 there, and then they scored a goal there. So I think Coventry are going to score. How many are Brentford going to score? I think Brentford are going to score 4. I think it's going to be 4-1 there, to be honest. And then last but not least is Birmingham versus Sheffield. Birmingham have started the season unbeaten in the Championship with a 1-0 win, a 0-0, a 1-1, and a 1-1. Not conceding or scoring many. Only scored 3 and conceded 2. Not the best. Sheffield have started not bad, but not amazing. They've won 2 away games in a row there, then drew at home, then lost away, then drew at home. I think Birmingham are going to win this, you know. I think we're going to win. I think we're going to win 2-0. I think it's going to be another 2-0 loss for Sheffield. I might be being biased there. Are you being there? Oh, that's nice, okay. Makes sense, that makes sense. I will submit my entry, nice and sorted. Cool, so that is the end of the Rose podcast for this week. I hope you enjoyed it. Obviously, it's a bit different to usual. No Premier League fixtures, no Championship fixtures to go through. No fantasy team to go through either. So we thought we'd mix it up with a bit of a tier list today. We might do more of a tier list. I quite enjoyed doing that and talking about that. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. If you're watching this on YouTube, then be sure to check out my Twitch where you can watch this live. Join in the conversation. And yeah, tell me your opinions, all that good stuff. It's always good to hear other people's opinions. If you're watching this and you like FIFA, obviously if you like football you might like FIFA, be sure to check out my Twitch as well, my other YouTube videos on my YouTube channel too. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you next time in a bit.